Hello everyone, I am Sampa and I'm really glad to have you all here for our very first stakeholder persona focused experience dialogue on the customer track. Last evening, we kicked off our multi stakeholder experience dialogue series on a strong note with some inspiring takeaways from Mr. Deepak Chandran. In case you missed attending it, the session recording is up now. With that, the stage has been set on the topic Reimagining Customer Experience in a Transformative Environment. Today, amongst us, we have an impressive panel on CX leaders who are redefining customer experiences in their domains. To guide this conversation, we are delighted to have a distinguished moderator from the fraternity. To introduce the quorum, I invite our FayrEdge co-founder, Sukanya.
Thank you, Sampa, and indeed delighted to do the honors. As you take time to read about the esteemed panelists' bio, and while today they represent themselves as industry professionals in their individual capacity, let me still add some key mentions. In alphabetical order, the first panelist we have here is Ayan Das, a leader who has been a co-founder of a very reputed people tech organization who's in the midst of a significant news now, and that says a lot about the complexity he has led in keeping customers close. A leader, in fact, who's also clear on prioritizing experiences of his own internal teams, those who day in and day out deliver their best to customers. So truly, we have in our midst a client-centric and empathetic leader. Next, we have Dhriti Gandhi, a customer experience leader who's been at the forefront of driving customer personalizations. In fact, is in the midst of delivering to a myriad of evolving expectations. And today, we very keenly await to hear from her about innovative ways of keeping pace in very emerging market space. So, completing the panel is Suraj Shetty, someone who has had a breadth of industry exposure, but adds depth from the financial industry. So, the fintech space that we have seen a lot of, coming of age of maturity now, a highly regulated world that helps on keeping us grounded on fundamentals, but yet is very dynamic on expectations in a market that has no parallel like ours. So, Sampa, if you can bring up, Suraj's profile. So clearly, as a CX leader, Suraj has a lot in hand. And finally, our moderator, Manisha Malhotra. We are honored to have Manisha moderate the session for us today, a seasoned CX leader who has for long navigated the logistics industry to lead the game in helping grow businesses. In fact, beyond this, she also wears many other hats, being a certified independent director, ESG certified consultant, just to name a few, and also brings alongside numerous industry accolades. So we are truly in very credible hands as she holds the reins of the discussion today. So Ayan, Dhriti, Suraj, Manisha, extremely delighted to have you amongst us. And with that, Manisha, over to you to set context on the topic and begin the conversation.
Thank you. Thanks, Sukanya, and very kind of you. What a introduction for all of us. Thanks for that. Good afternoon, everyone. And we look forward to having an interactive session as you hear from us, along with the panelists that we have and a rich experience of what you will see over the next 1 hour. So when we talk of customer experience, as Bill Gates said, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. And that's what drives me. And I'm sure the panelists will agree with me that, that is where actually your customers are your voice, and your customers and businesses actually take you where you are. You can't run a business without a customer. So that's where the importance of having a good customer experience comes from. Over the next 1 hour, we'll be covering the topic of reimagining customer experience in a transformative environment. And this stays very close to my heart. As said, I've been into this space of customer interaction and customer experience for long. Uh, we've seen a lot of transformation happening in this space, a lot of digitization happening in this space. Uh, the world is transforming with AI. There are bots than humans. But what stays still close to a customer, what brings us close to a customer still, is the human effect, is how you make them feel. The customer will never forget the rich experience that they had while dealing with you. And that's what will bring them back to you to deal with you. So, the topics that we wish to cover today, and I hope that we do live up to your expectation, is how AI is transforming the personalization effect of customer experience. I think we will, as my rich panelists, the rich experience that they bring from various industries, they're going to be talking about that in their industry as well. Ways to anticipate customer needs before they reach out. And that's where the predictive or the proactive customer experience space is going to be evolving. And that's what we see happening very soon. Managing systems and silos that disturb the experience. And I think Xylos is no more. And we'll see when one of the panelists, when Ayan talks about the Xylos, how cutting them is very important to lead to what the expectations are. And what it truly means to build the future ready customer experience. When we say future ready customer experience, I think the customer retention or growing along with the customer becomes equally important when the organizations are looking for growth and thriving for success. So with that, I would like to, now start and take you into this session. And I would, if we're ready, I would, like to ask Suraj if, yeah. So what do you think, Suraj? In what ways are we integrating AI to the personalized customer journey while maintaining a seamless user experience?
So, first of all, thank you, Sukanya, for introducing all of us. And Manisha, I think it's a great question, and it's a very important question in today's context. As companies are doing their best to embrace AI, they are looking at ways in which AI can benefit their customers, their employees, as well as other stakeholders. So, what we have done here is we have started by using AI to improve human efficiency. So basically, there are two things. One is there are inefficiencies in the process, there are inefficiencies in employees. What we are working on is removing inefficiencies of employees, making them more efficient rather than replacing the humans. For that, what we are doing is we are using an AI platform to go through all customer interactions that happen in and day out. So we are using a platform which looks at each and every call that happens in the organization with the customer for payments, for sales, etc. And the platform can analyze these calls and tell us what happened during the call. How was the call? How was the mood of the customer? How was the mood of the agent? Whether the agent followed all the required things in the script, whether there was any argument during the call, whether there was any wrong information given on the call, even that can be pointed out. Now, this platform is not just analyzing calls. Now, this is basically a quality audit thing. It's a quality check thing. But this platform is allowing us to do five things at one time. Number one is compliance. Since we are an RBI registered entity, we have to be very, very sensitive on customer complaints or any kind of grievances that customer may come up with respect to the process, product, people, etc. It helps us in compliance by auditing 100% of the conversations rather than just auditing 5% of the sample checks that we used to do previously. Second, it helps us reduce on the cost required for auditing 100% because usually with humans previously with the quality team of say 40 odd, we used to just audit 5% of the conversations. Now we are able to do 100% with the same team. Third, I would say it's helping us reduce the cost of training and make training faster, deliver faster. Because previously, whenever an employee was not able to perform up to the mark, the training team used to take him on a refresher session, give him all the training needed, and then he would come back on the floor and start performing. Now this is not needed. The system can tell us where he is weak, what are his weak spots, and where he needs training. So instead of doing a 2-day training session, the trainer can wrap it up in just 2 hours because he knows what needs to be taught to this individual and how he can perform better. So this is the third benefit. And finally, I would say uh, there is the customer experience aspect here, because if you're auditing 100% of the conversations and you know what customers are saying day in and day out, how employees are behaving, this helps you improve the overall customer experience as well and make changes to the policies that you have. So this one platform is able to solve five problems. And I think these are the kind of solutions that are getting adopted in the market, rather than some solution which would just help you fix one problem. Solutions that are able to fix multiple problems, and at the same time, there is no data sensitivity issue. Like, for example, using an AI bot to help customer go through all the information in the company is very sensitive. The tech teams would think 10 times before doing that, and everyone is experimenting with that. So I think the solutions that are taking up are those that are and at the same time are comparatively risk free. And this is the path that we have taken. And slowly, we believe we would be extending AI based solutions for different parts of the business as well.
Thank you. That's quite some. And what I see of it is continuous improvement. You doing it, not waiting for it, but then doing it while you are still dealing with the customers, and the productivity certainly gets better when the person's not off the floor and still on the floor and
Correct.
can improve. I think this is amazing. A lot of learning. The next question I would have for Ayan and Dhriti, I would like to know from you and your industry. What challenges have we faced in balancing automation and personalization in our customer interactions? And how are we overcoming them? I think, Ayan, you can take it first since alphabetically. Yeah, that would be really
Sure,
great.
sure.
Yeah.
Firstly, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share my experience. And thanks to the fellow panelists and to Manisha, moderator, and thanks to the FayrEdge team for arranging this. So, when we talk about automation and personalization, and specifically if I talk about my industry and the background that I come from, which is HR tech, both run in parallel, right? However, if you look at automation and if you look at personalization, both are very different dynamics, right? Automation is all about scale. Automation is all about economy. Automation is all about productivity, right? And when it comes to personalization, we're talking about niche, we're talking about effort intensive, and then we're also talking about premium, cost, right? Now, how do we balance this out? And this stands good for our industry, and I think for any other industry as well. I think the first thing that there are fundamentally four things that I want to touch about. The first thing is intelligent segmentation, right? You need to know where do you want to automate and where do you want to personalize, right? There's no point in doing it all across. If I have to take an example, areas which are like escalations, feedback, I think these are some of the areas which requires personalization, right? The rest of the areas can be looked, where you can automate. The second most important thing is, how do you leverage automation uh, to enhance personalization, right? So platform like FayrEdge, right? You can leverage a platform to understand your customer's requirement and probably then figure out, how much to automate and where do you want to personalize. The third most important part, in this whole game of automation and personalization, there is one big element which is known as cost and budget, right? Your automation comes with a specific OPEX and CAPEX. Your personalization also comes with a specific OPEX and CAPEX that needs to fit your budget. So you need to know your pocket and then approach automation and personalization accordingly. The fourth part, I think this is everybody knows, and I think this is the buzzword, which is AI. I think AI brings in that fine balance of automation and personalization. Of course, with agentic AI, you can, move ahead and do those elements of personalization where you think, you can move a step ahead and beyond just simple automation. So I think these are the four key elements, I think, for consideration when it comes to balancing out between automation and personalization. That's what, my take would be.
Great. That's nice. I think the four takeaways are really great. Dhriti, would you like to add something more to this one?
Yes, of course. So, firstly, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction, Sampa and Sukanya. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me over here. To dive right into the question of the hour, um, striking the right balance between automation and personalization has been one of the biggest learnings for the space that I belong to. I am associated with a backpacker hostel chain. It's a very up and coming concept in the country, and we have tried to counter it with a concierge web app. So, eliminating the need for somebody having to, our customers having to download an app per se, but can also access all the plus points of an app via a platform called Flow. So early on, we noticed that fully automated touchpoints like booking confirmations or chatbot replies sometimes felt too mechanical to our guests. So they missed the small human touches that turned a stay into an experience. And at the same time, relying solely on manual interactions didn't scale for us, especially as our community grew. So that tension, efficiency versus empathy was our core challenge. So here's how we've tackled it. There are a couple of pointers that I'd like to talk about. So with Glow, with our web app, we try to drive multiple analysis on the guest behavior in real time. So it could maybe be data about their past stay, what their preferred room settings were, or maybe if they have RSVP'd for any event. It flags personalized suggestions for our team to act on. Um, Secondly, there are smart controls along with warm service. So, automated smart controls and OTP logs give guests instant, secure autonomy. So they can adjust the lights, unlock doors without keys, but our front desk still reaches out with pre-arrival tips or post-checkout thank you notes that uh, reference something personal. We have robust feedback loops and continuous tuning. Every time a guest interacts with our smart systems, feedback gets captured, and once the feedback is getting captured, we ensure to get in touch with the guest again once the feedback is actually resolved. So assuming that a guest has a suggestion, hypothetically it could be that you guys should have railings on the bunk beds, and we actually made an entire change into the model of our bunk beds and got back to all of these guests, letting them know that based on your feedback, we have actually made a change and we would love to welcome you back to a much improved experience. So, yeah, I think that's about it. That's all that I'd want to talk about.
Thank you. Thanks, Dhriti. That's, I think, the OTP system or the touchless, I think that's the way forward for, the kind of business that you are in. And I think some of the countries that I have visited, I have seen this already, where I have experienced this. And it's a real good experience. But yeah, digitization has its own thing. Sometimes you tend to rely too much on technology, but yes, I think that's the way forward, given the environmental thing as well that we have to run our business, and we have to deliver that.
Absolutely.
So the next question, and what we would like to know from you is that what strategies do we have in place to anticipate the customer needs and offer better solutions before they reach out to us? So that's again, a proactive customer behavior, knowing them before they, and that's what I think the customers also appreciate. So what are your thoughts around it, Kriti? What do you think?
So, at my at my current company, the Hosteller, every bit of feedback is a stepping stone to better stays. So we harness reviews and guest comments to make sure that the next person walking through our doors never faces the same hiccup. And considering that it's a hospitality industry, we heavily rely on feedback, and feedback is directly proportional to revenue in that case. So there are a few ways in which we try and anticipate customer needs and offer solutions. The first one being real-time feedback capturing. So from post-checkout surveys to in-stay chat prompts or public review sites or the booking platforms via which the guests have booked us, we collect feedback at multiple touch points. Whether a guest flags the Wi-Fi speed or suggests cozier pillows, nothing slips through the cracks. Everything is well documented, and we ensure to act on it in a prioritized manner. Um, I'd circle back to Glue. We try to. So Glue is essentially guest listening unit. So it ingests and categorizes every comment, positive or negative. So it quantifies which issues are most urgent to tackle. The third thing that I'd like to talk about is automated triage and team alerts. So, as and when there is any critical or recurring issue that crops up, we ensure that our operations team are well in the loop, and we have a ticketing based system which ensures that each and every hiccup is dealt with as immediately as possible and resolved from the very root cause. Um, the next part being SOP updates and training. So, recurring feedback drives our process improvements. So, if several guests mention dim lighting, we revise the room setup SOP to bump up or amp up the default brightness. When guests ask for local food tips, we quickly develop reference guides for our team. And of course, closing the loop is one of the most important. Once a fix is made, we do ensure to let our customers know that hey, based on your feedback, we have actually acted and made improvements, like how I mentioned earlier. So, by embedding guest feedback at the heart of our processes and leveraging our tools to turn comments into concrete actions, we ensure that every new arrival experiences an ever improving, truly guest focused day.
Thank you. I think that's great. Surit, would you like to add something from your industry? Because, that's something that each one deals with your kind of industry. So what do you think about, proactiveness while, not waiting for the customer to reach us, but you reaching out to the customer and knowing? So what would you like to?
Say what we do here is there are three things. The first and second are industry wide adopted. That is CSAT and NPS, customer satisfaction score, and net promoter score. Net promoter score is something that we do quarterly. We run the survey to customers, to different segment of customers, and then we get a feedback based on which we reach out to the customers to understand more about the feedback that they have given to us, so that we can understand what was the reason for someone to be a detractor. At the same time, we also reach out to those who have rated as 9 or 10 to understand what was the reason they liked us so much and which other services do they use apart from us. So that is one thing. CSAT is something that we do on a daily basis. That's more of a transactional thing for each and every interaction that happens with the customer, be it on call, email, chat, social media. Every interaction that happens, there is a CSAT score that the customer gets, wherein he can rate the interaction, and that's how we come to know how good the service was. Finally, I would say the most important part for us is analyzing the overall customer interactions that happen in the company. So basically, for every interaction, we have a tagging approach that there is a tag one and tag two given for every interaction, which is called query and subquery. So basically, we come to know on a live basis how many customers have come for, say, refund related issues, how many have come for CIBIL credit bureau related issues, how many have come for technical issues. And inside that, there is a subcategory. Okay, refund, which type of refund? Was it an EMI refund, fee refund? technical issue? Was it an app related technical issue, or was it a website or some page or payment page related issue, etc.? This helps us understand, not just us, for each and every team that is that's working with us, like the payment team, the bureau team, there is a tech team, marketing team, product team. They understand for their part of the world where are things going wrong. So if there is a rise in interactions happening suddenly after 4 p.m. for technical issue, they can immediately go back and see what is the technical issue that people are raising for. And before more people face that issue, they can go and fix it rather than waiting for 2 to 3 days to pass and more people facing the same technical issue, and we lose business due to that. So they get to know on live basis how many issues are coming, and they can immediately track and tackle it. And if needed, we sometimes reach out to the customer and understand. We may ask for some screenshot or something to get into the issue, deep into the issue, and solve it. So this live tracking of interactions helps us know, because if anything goes wrong in the product, in the entire process that we have set up, the customer is the first to know about it. Most of the times we already have this tracking. We track the customer's journey. We come to know how many customers are falling off at different layers. We are able to track this, but there are some areas which the customer will always come to know first. So it's necessary to keep listening, to keep looking at what they are saying day in and day out, and take cues from there and fix those things before they become a larger issue.
Yeah, I think that's true. So now I think taking cue from this, you said NPS, CSAT, all of that. And we also spoke about the systems and the various platforms that, all of our organizations are using. Let's hear it from our audience. And what do you think if we run a poll to know that, currently how many tools an organization use to listen to customer experiences? So the question's right up there. So the question is, currently how many tools does an organization use to listen to their customers' experience? Wow, that's a number.
More than 5 tools.
Yeah, more than 5. I mean, that's amazing that how organizations are actually, investing to hear the voice of the customer, because everybody is realizing that retaining a customer is better than acquiring a new one, and reducing their cost by 7 times, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess due to the omni-channel approach that companies have taken to ensure that you're present everywhere, the requirement for having a tool to track these channels has also increased. So that's one of the reasons I must say that using more than 1 or 2 tools.
Yeah. Right. So, can we have the results? I mean, how does it look like? Yeah, so the answer is right up there. I think it's 5 or more. And I mean, most of it is 5 or more, or 4 or less. So yes, there is a fair amount of investment that's been done on, hearing the voice of the customer. So yeah, thank you. Thanks, audience. Thanks for answering that. As we go forward in our discussion, managing the complexity of multi-systems, we just spoke about systems and we just heard it from our audience that interact with the customers, ensure that don't create a friction in the experience. And Ayan, I think that's where we would like to hear from your experience that, how do you manage and that? What are your thoughts around it?
Sure. I think first I'll take a cue from the poll. While definitely the poll gives an indication that organizations are focused towards capturing feedback. The counter question to it is: do we need 5 tools to capture feedback? Right. That's a counter question. Now, having multi systems in an organization, specifically when it comes to enterprise grade organization, right? Large scale enterprise. It's a reality today. And what probably we need to ask, intelligently within the organization is, do we need so many systems, right? I will break this again into 3 points. This will help the audience remember. It will help me also, articulate it in a better way. The first thing is, we should interrogate the intent of having so many systems. Now, if I have to take the example of my industry, and if I have to talk about HR tech, typically, HR life cycle, employee life cycle, fundamentally 8 or 10 broad processes. You can have 7, 8 different platforms, for recruitment, for your core management, for your leave attendance system, for your performance management system, for your learning management system, or you can also have one enterprise setup catering to all of these processes, right? So I think the first question that needs to be asked is, do we need so many systems? Is it solving an organization's problem, or this is somebody's pet project? I'm sorry to call that out, right? The intent needs to be questioned in the right way. That's number one. Now, the reality is we have so many systems, right? Here comes the need to see that these systems are deeply integrated and intelligently speaking to each other, right? And these are not driven by functional or departmental agenda. You're trying to solve an organization's problem. So what is very, very important is deep integration, and the systems are talking to each other. That's the second thing that we need to look at. Now, once we solve the intent, once we have the systems in place, the third part comes the experience, right? Now, with so many systems in place, what needs to be looked at is my user able to access, navigate, and transition between these systems seamlessly or not? I think if we have these three objectives in place, and we keep on reviewing it through a feedback mechanism, we will be able to solve this real world problem of having multiple system, because organizations operate in different geographies as well, right? And you can't have one system maybe operating in multiple geography, or maybe catering to multiple needs. But intent, again, seamless integration, and then facilitating the users to navigate through all these systems through continuous feedback, I think is going to help solve this problem in a large way. I mean, I can take a quick example. For example, if I look at our Recruit platform, we have 5 interfaces. There is a candidate portal, there is an employee portal, there is a hiring manager portal, there is a your recruiter portal. So there is a vendor portal as well, right? So if all of these are contributing to the larger objective of solving the recruitment problem for an organization, then we are good to have all 5 of this system in place, as long as they're seamlessly talking to each other and helping the recruiter close that, right? So I think that's how we should approach the problem, is what I feel.
Correct. And knowing the intent, the objective becomes extremely important, because that's where you can actually have the objective, that what is it, the outcome or the achievement that you need to have.
Yes.
And I had the similar thoughts when I was looking at it, and I did say that organizations are focusing by having so many multiple systems. But then at the back of the mind, it was that, do I need 5 platforms to actually hear the voice of my customer? Yeah. So yeah, I think I resonate with your thoughts, and what you just said, and extremely great to hear that. As we are talking about the voice of the customer, Suraj, it will be great to know from you that how do we listen to customers, and how do we make them feel valued? How do we refine? How do we actually use that to refine our approach? We have a voice of the customer. We have got, you just mentioned about CSAT, NPS. And how do you, by hearing that their voice, do you think that making them feel important, is the way?
Yeah, good question, Manisha. I think what we're doing here is one part is getting the CSAT and NPS done. That is the first half. That is half work done, because you have got the survey results. You have the data with you, and based on that, you can take decisions. Now, the second half of the part is something that many organizations may or may not do, because that will need some time and more time and effort, and that may delay your decision making, but it would make your decision making more efficient. And then the second part is speaking to the customers, speaking to them once to understand what they actually wanted to say, and also to understand what they missed telling us. Because no matter which survey you design, if you make the survey too lengthy, customers may not feel that. If you make it too short, you may not get to know what information you wanted to get it from them. So what we do is, once we get all the survey results, we pick 5 to 10 customers from different segments, and then we have a customer interview call. This is usually done once a month. And also, depending on a new product has been released or a new feature has been released, it may be done multiple times. We speak to these customers. These are called customer interview sessions, wherein we inform the customer, we take a time from him, saying that we need to speak to you. It will be a 10 to 12 minute call, maximum 15 minutes call, wherein we ask him multiple questions like, how did he come to know about the app? Since we are a fintech company, we provide loans, and customer take digital loans through us. These are instant loans, and we are also having other products like insurance, loan against property, etc. So just to understand whom to upsell, what to upsell, or what to cross sell, or what new products and services to create for the existing set of customers, we speak to them. We have different questions like, how did you come to know about us? What is it that you liked about the service? When you are completing this journey on this particular section, did you find this thing helpful? Or did you face any problem in this particular section? Then we also ask them what other competitor apps or platforms do they use, so that we know what are the other options that they already have available with them and which they are using, which means that we need to learn from these competitors as well, because our customer is already using them despite having us. That means there is something that he wants, that is missing in our app or missing in our services, that he needs to go to the competitor. And third, we also look at his behavioral patterns, his spending patterns, like which other platforms does he use for, say, medical expenses, for ordering food, for shopping, etc. And then we go back to the meeting room, and then we discuss that these are the results. We also do a research on these particular competitors and all the other apps that the customer usually uses, to understand the kind of the likes and dislikes the customer has. And then we arrive at a particular product or service that needs to be pitched to the customer, or a new service that may be developed. For example, if too many customers are looking for a gold loan, it is a signal for us to look to do something in that area, or maybe a loan against mutual funds, etc. Similarly, when we research the competitors, we just don't look at their website or app, or when we are researching a different app in a different industry, say a food delivery app. Tomorrow, when I come to know that a lot of customers are using Swiggy, or a lot of customers are using Myntra, I have a motivation to go to this platform, become a customer of this platform, and go through the entire journey. Because no matter we are a fintech and they are a food delivery platform, but they are an e-commerce platform, there's a lot to learn from them as well. Because customer be won't continue using your services if you are able to if you're not able to give them the right experience, just because you are from the finance section. So basically, even they are used to quick experiences, quick delivery of things, and seamless availability of information, that same experience they're expecting from banks, from insurance companies, from a stock trading app as well. So once he is used to something, he may try to find the same thing in other industries as well. So it's necessary to learn from other industries as well. So we go through the entire journey. We create a video screenshot for this entire journey, and then we identify areas where we can learn from these platforms, from these competitors, and those things are then fed to the product team, so that they can take the insights and work on it. So that's how we do it. So we connect with customers, we understand them, and in return for these insights, we give them some cashbacks, because the customer won't be ready to spend 15-20 minutes on a interview call unless he knows what he's getting out of it. So that's how we manage it.
That's great. I think it's very important. We spoke about Xylos, somewhere. And Ayan, my question comes to you now. What are some of the best practices for breaking down the silos across departments, to build a unified customer view? Because I think that's what the customer is interested in, because they see us as one organization. They don't want to know that, it's a different department. You just mentioned about, 4 or 5 departments that, the platforms that you have. I'm sure you have teams working around that. So what are your views around that? And how can organization treat their employees as their first customers to better drive customer experience externally? And this question, I would love to hear it from you, Ayan, because this is something that I just discussed in the over 2 days that I was here. So your views on this will be really insightful. You
Sorry, my bad. So the question is, 2 parts. I think the first part is around breaking the silos, and this is very interesting. So I am part HR and part customer guy, right? So if I have to give my, HR perspective, I think this is a larger organization's agenda where you would want all the teams to work towards one common objective. And the word here is shared leadership, right? Which can be driven through a common goal or a common set of OKR, objectives and key results across those functions. I'll give you an example. One of the key metric, now I'm talking the customer side of it, my customer side of it. So one of the key metric that we kind of look at, in customer success is product adoption. Now, product adoption is the product intuitive, which is driving adoption. Is my delivery in place, whether, I'm implementing the product in the right way, or I am, kind of managing the project in the right way. Does that drive adoption? Or my support is good enough, right? That I'm responding to the customers on time, being very close to them. That also is a contributor to adoption, right? Now, the common tendency is to blame one another when the adoption meter falls, right? But here, if you have the adoption metric, the core objective or goal common for all of these 3 departments, they are supposed to align and work towards the larger objective of, a better product usage for the organization that we are catering to, and of course it serves the purpose of people strong as well, right? So I think that's one approach. So shared leadership, have common objectives for your common agenda, which has to be owned up by the respective departments. This is how cross-functional goal setting, cross-functional objective setting works these days. That's one answer to the first part of the question, breaking the silos of different departments. The second one is, employee. Again, this is one of the area, and there is some research and some model that I'm working on. So employee engagement or employee happiness is all linked with energy, right? What is the kind of energy that an employee is bringing to work, right? If I'm energetic, I'm happy, I'm engaged, and I'm going to contribute in a much better way, which is going to elevate my customers' experience. Now, there are 3 areas which impact an employee's, energy. Of course, my work ecosystem, where I'm coming to work. The second one is my non-work ecosystem, which is, probably my friend, my family, any personal hobby, whatever that I have. That's my non-work ecosystem. And the third is my growth ecosystem, which is, taking me ahead in my career, my skill, the next certification that I want to do, probably, the promotion that I want. So these are the 3 ecosystem in which an employee's energy moves, right? What organizations can do, and again, platform like FayrEdge can definitely help there, is capture the sentiments around the work ecosystem and the growth ecosystem. You can't do much around the non-work ecosystem because that's not in your control as an organization. Of course, in the West, there are programs where you do wellness programs and add it as a part of your overall benefits offering to the employees. But here in our geography, mostly in our area, I think we can be very, very, close to the employees in capturing their sentiments across the work ecosystem and the growth ecosystem. and then, kind of analyze it and go back to them, contribute positively so that they are happy, they are in that positive energy zone, so that they can contribute back to my customers' happiness. So that's how I would, want to kind of break these two questions.
So I will maybe, just allude to some of the audience questions that came in prior at the time of registration, and please feel free to jump in. So for the first question that I'll pose, Manisha, I'm just jumping on behalf of you to cover some, received in advance audience question. So in your current,
Sorry.
not at all, not at all. This is a team sport, right? So in your current role, how do you overcome, competing priorities while pushing your CX agenda? And Manisha, you can, take it from here on who you want to direct it to.
Yeah. So maybe Suraj, you would want to take that.
So can I get the question once?
So in your current role, how do you overcome, competing organizational priorities, right? When you're pushing the CX customer experience agenda, whether from a budgeting standpoint or from a prioritization on time, there are many things, right, the company wants to do.
Yeah, I would say the customer prioritizing the customer. Whenever you want that the customer has to be prioritized, it's very necessary that there's a top-down approach to it. And it has to come down from the management, because then there is a clear path laid down to it, and people are able to understand that, okay, this is the priority, we need to take it up first. So whenever there are conflicting priorities, what I do is, first of all, whatever is the initiative that we are going to achieve. For example, there is an initiative that needs to be done immediately because customers are facing a particular problem, and if you take this X initiative, this problem can be resolved, or 80% of the problem can be resolved, and there will be a better experience to customers. But the tech may have its own priority. The tech team may have some 5 to 6 other priorities, which they're not able to prioritize this task, and they may say that, okay, this will take us 2 months to. So it's necessary that we take buy-in from the management for this, and the first step is to present your vision for the management, that why this initiative is very important, and what is the loss of business that we are getting because of this initiative not getting live immediately, and also what is the benefit that we will get in terms of more business or repeat business from customers, or in terms of improvement in the entire branding exercise. For example, if customers are complaining about a particular thing on social media, then the branding is also getting impacted. So we need to present to the management what are, and this presentation has to be in numbers, not just the plain logic of why we want to do it. We need to link it to the numbers and inform them that why this is important. And when it comes from the management to the tech team or the product team, they are able to prioritize it. So I think it's necessary we take a top-down approach, and that's what something has worked for me. And I think whenever you need to prioritize anything, especially for the customer, the culture of customer first has to be always top down. Unless the management gives priority to the customer, the other teams won't and would never give it, because they would have their own KRAs. Necessary that the message goes from the topmost part of the organization to give it the right priority.
Thank you. Yeah, I think aligning the customer expectation to organizations and these trends and the deliverables become very important. So I think rightly pointed out, and for your kind of a sector, which is like a fast moving and, touching almost everybody, I think it becomes very important. Dhriti, we have a question from the audience, and that's where I think we love to hear from you, because your sector is something that we all are looking forward to. How do you think is the younger generation driving a shift in customer experience strategy?
Okay. So the younger generation is reshaping customer experience, pushing brands to become faster, more personalized, and also, of course, deeply connected with values. So here's how we're responding to customer experience strategies and how we're shifting the entire game from our side. So the first point that I'd like to talk about is instant gratification and speed. So real-time communication matters, and with younger crowd expecting instant responses, we've leaned into smart chatbots powered by our systems, offering 24/7 support and immediate answers. Fast and seamless check-ins. So even when it comes to digital check-ins or OTP-based door locks, it caters to something that's more frictionless or fast. The second point that I'd like to talk about is hyper personalization. So, younger guests, they are also valuing unique experiences, and that's also what we want to. Uh, the, that is something that we want to uh, ensure our guests feel. We've leaned into our so to begin with, our rooms come with mood setting features, okay, like lights or scent or music, which is also controlled again via the web app, allowing them to curate their ideal environment. And there are tailored recommendations too. So AI predicts preferences, assuming that somebody may have forgotten a lock to their dorm bed at some point in their previous stay. We also have the data, and we can let them know, hey, it seems like you forgot the lock again. Can we facilitate it for you ASAP? The third point that I'd like to talk about is value driven experiences. So, sustainability and social responsibility is something that we want to really propagate and the younger generation definitely cares deeply about sustainability. We integrate eco-friendly options and partner with local social enterprises, making these choices visible to guests via multiple ways. And purposeful branding is the last thing that I'd like to talk about, wherein we focus on community engagement and also ethical travel practices which resonate with conscious customers. So, all in all, by embracing these shifts and leveraging tools, we're not just meeting the younger generation's expectations, we're staying ahead of the curve, ensuring a future ready CX that feels both authentic and is, of course, cutting edge as well.
Yeah, I think very well said. And the future generation for sure is looking for sustainability and reusability, and they want to connect very well. So thank you, thanks for putting that across so well. Let's do a rapid fire with the three of you. Let's hear it from you. And these are going to be really quick questions, and so any one of you is free to pick it up. So the first question is, on a scale of 1 to 5, how easy is it for a customer to provide a real-time experience feedback?
Can I
Yeah.
Sure. So I rate it a 4. So making it as seamless as possible for the customers to provide real-time feedback is important. Um, and feedback is just a tap or voice command away. But at the same time, there needs to be uh, there needs to be some human touch to it as well. So exactly why I think I'd go with a 4.
That's nice. Complete the sentence. A delighted customer is?
I would say a delighted customer is someone who comes back to you, he gives repeat business, and at the same time, he spreads positive word of mouth. So, unless there is repeat business, there is something lacking in the service. And unless there is positive word of mouth, you need to really look into the customer's journey. So, I think these are the
Correct. Yeah, retention becomes very important, and repeat customers improve productivity. How would you sequence the three when it comes to CX? CX, customer experience, faster service, transparency, or personalized service?
So I'll take that. I think there is no logical sequence to it. I think if you focus on personalization, the remaining two come automatically. So there is no logical sequence. You just focus on the customer and make a personalized
Very well said. Very well said. The
feed
sequence
everything.
will follow.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
moment you add the personalized, effect to it, I think the sequence would just flow. And this is just one last one. One customer experience buzzword you have heard the most.
I think everyone
I
has
think
heard.
all three of you need to just mention one customer experience buzzword.
I think right now the buzzword is AI, and
Right.
that's something that everyone is hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything that
that's
has
AI.
AI. Anything that has AI
Uh,
in any
That's
form and
AI.
shape.
Correct. And I don't know how much AI is going to work and would the human touch when it comes to experience fade off, but I don't think that's fading off anywhere close. We let's hear it from our audience. And Sampa, can you just put up the poll question? Let's hear from the audience. Take a moment to share your session experience with us. It'll be really joyful to hear it from you, please. Q. Thank you. That's a good one. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for taking out the time today and being a part of this engaging session. I hope we lived up to the audience expectations. I'm sure the expectations would be much more. This topic is something that can be talked upon, and various uh, uh, areas can be touched upon because we are ourselves and we are in an industry where we are delivering that experience. So I always say that, it what you want to feel is how you want to feel is what you should deliver to your customers. So that becomes very, very important for us. On that note, I remember Steve Cannon, who's the former CEO of Mercedes. He said customer experience is the new marketing.
Marketing. Yes.
So the organization need to stop, their marketing, but they need to invest in the experience that they give to their customers. So that becomes really important. We've had some great takeaways from, the discussion that we had. We really spoke very well about shared leadership, and that actually, takes the weight because if we are internal focused and we take care internally, I think we will be able to deliver externally as well.
I think Manisha is maybe facing some connectivity issues. I know she's an external conference and still making time. So Ayan, Dhriti, and Suraj, and of course, as Manisha comes back, thank you so much. You've been a wonderful panelist, and Manisha, for you to hold the discussion together, such an engaging one. I think the quotes that you started with and ended with, and many things in between, right? The focus on predictive, growing with the customer, proactiveness, closing the loop. I think the balance in terms of, between automation, personalization, delighted customer, clearly the check is stickiness, right? Many of those will stay with us. The series continuum carries forward to the next stakeholder persona, the vendor. So the following week, our discussion will focus on a very important player who really is sort of, bringing up criticality of the game at the next level. COVID saw it, how essential that whole ecosystem is. So May 2nd, same time, 4 p.m., we will join for another engaging conversation. And thank you all, audience, for your active participation and look forward to having you over soon. Ayan, Dhriti, Manisha, Suraj, we've been really honored with your presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Sukanya, and thanks to FayrEdge for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.